Hello, this is JilliBling. Today is a perfect day for the second project, the second Gotta Have It project out of 5 using the honeybee bundle. So here's today's project. Kind of pretty. Queen bee, be using that, and a few other things. Oh, I should have cleared that out. Oh well, it's decorated the same. I planned that. Yeah. So I have all kinds of stuff over here. You would think it's pretty simple, but then trying to get all these little pieces lined up down here, I made it a little bit trickier, but you don't have to do that. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a minute. So here's pieces. And Honeybee Blooms, which is a stamp set that coordinates with Honeybee Home. Be using that just for some of these little background pieces. Also, Honeybee Dies and Beautiful Shapes. Beautiful Shapes has a die that's 2 honeycombs together, and that's what makes this. But I was about to use like some of these bigger ones, which would be fine too, or something fancy, because there's this one here. But you know what I noticed? This is not symmetrical. So these sides are longer. I'm trying to find something dark to put it on. Than the other sides. Here, and I put it right on here. These sides here they're longer, and then these are shorter, which is fine. But when you're going to nest them all together, I'm sure it would still work, but this works really well. And this cuts 2 at one time, which I love that. So if you have any of these dies, this project, it will work. And does it look familiar? So in the catalog, if ever you have a set, you want to use it, you're not quite sure what to do, there's lots of examples. And once you get in and you start making the project they display, all of a sudden you think, oh, if I colored it different colors, oh, if I used a different flower. You always get so many different ideas. So sometimes you just have to jump in and do it. Or, like this one, I changed the color of the background. This one is honeybee color, or it's crushed curry, focusing on crushed curry and white. And mine I focused on this paper here, which is soft succulent, and has a little bit of balmy blue in it, but I was featuring more the soft succulent. Okay. Let's see what we have. Oh, we'll be using the mini blending brush. I'm liking them. I was thinking, oh, it's the same as the others, but it's kind of nice. Kind of really nice. Okay, all these pieces, we'll use those in a minute. So these top pieces are things that I'm going to cut out. That's the card. This is just to be stamped with memento and the queen bee little blossom branch. It's still morning time, like really early, like still dark out, and I'm still on coffee. Okay, I've had one sip. Do you stamp in your jammies at strange hours? This is such a delicate little branch. I love it. Okay, just like that. So I'm going to cut it out, this 2 times a bee. I had to stamp a bee. Because this is all about the bee. Well, the stamp set, that's all about that big, beautiful, perfect bee. But I'm going to use a different one with the little flower on it. Early in the morning, I already have ink on me. Bee. And the hexagons are going to go on my white paper, my designer paper. Vellum gets this, which is from the Honeybee bundle. Honeybee Blooms. I'm going to do 2 or 3 of these. This is going to get the hexagons on it. So hexagons in 3 colors. Soft succulent, designer paper, and white. This little flower branch is going to go in vellum 2 times. This one, oh, I know why I set this off to the side. Well, let me show you. Let me do some magic right here and have a lot of stuff done. So this, I was able to get, I need something dark. Here we go. I was able to get 3 branches out of the 1 piece of vellum. And it's okay if you don't get the bottom, because what do you do with the bottom of the branch? It gets tucked in. So even if I was getting only half of the branch, that would be plenty. Okay, so there's that one. This piece here, the soft succulent, if you can, even get the partials, because we'll be using the partial pieces. This one you can only get 4, which is just fine. And then this one, get as many as you can, including the bee. But the gold, distressed gold, I love this paper. It's one-sided, but it works so well. Look how well it works there. So here, I saved this, hoping to wow you. You're like, yeah, I don't get it. So I cut this out of the back of the paper. And that's because I have 1 branch going to the left. This branch is pretty much going to the left. Oops, I had to put that in better. What happened there? How did it sneak out like that? It's loose. Well, we can't have that. Okay, it's not loose anymore. Just let that sit. Okay, so back to where we were. This goes to the left. This top one goes to the left also. But because I put it in the top of the bouquet, that one just represents the top. And then this one, just imagine if you had these pieces, everything would be looking into the bouquet. So I cut it out of the back. These 2 out of the front, this one out of the back. And you probably many times don't like to do that, because when you hold a die cut piece, you notice how the edges are kind of rounded down, and when you flip it over, these looks like they're kind of cupped up, and just like in a minor way. Many people, they wouldn't notice that at all. But just take your bone folder over it, and that will kind of flatten it out, so at least it's flat. And like I said, some people, they don't even notice that. I do. Okay, distress gold, isn't that just pretty? That would make anything pretty. You know, when I look at this, I'm thinking it's a little busy. Maybe I'll try just one branch today. Okay, so all the pieces, let me get all those pieces. Branch B, an uncolored branch. Lots of white hexagons. 4 designer print hexagons. 3 going different directions. See how well that works? And the vellum, and I think one of these I tore. You can see how there's just a piece, but that's okay. I could piece it together or just put it somewhere else. Yeah, I think this one's lost an arm. It did. I think it lost a top. And finally, soft succulent hexagons including a partial, which I'm sure we can use. Okay, so let's get to doing the card and putting the hexagons on. So I have Stampin' Up! White cardstock, Stampin' Up! Thick white cardstock for the base. Like, it's kind of white on white, but that's what makes the flower and the bee and all the prettiness stand out so well. And I did give it a little swoosh of color using the blending brush. Let's start with that. Blending brush, soft succulent. So knowing that the center is going to be covered, get this inked up really well. And normally, if I wanted it to be like a swoosh of color in the middle, I would be really careful with it. But because I know it's going to be colored, I'm trying to avoid that, a big glob of it. But now that it's kind of softened up, I go out to the edges a bit. That's a little messy, but most of it will be covered up. And it doesn't take much color, just a little. Whoo-wee. It's going to be covered though. And then the same with the inside. Okay, that's the plan. And it will come around. Because, see how you just see hints of it? And on here, hints of it? Okay, and since I have the blending brush out, on my hexagon pieces, the white ones, I'm going to put just a dash of color with the blending brush. Some of them lighter than others, some of them a little dark. And my cutting pad is old and it's leaving behind some residue. I should probably try to clean that. Or I'll just make sure that that's underneath the flowers. Okay, blending brush. I'm going to hold on to 2 little bits of it. Just give it a swoosh of color. And some of them I wanted to be heavy, and then other ones really light. Like this one is really light, halfway kind of light. This one is halfway. This one I purposely did really dark, but that's what creates, that one's all the way covered. That's what creates the interest of this. Okay, it's going to be a real dark one. And luckily, if I do any that I really don't like, those could be the ones hiding underneath the flowers. Some light ones. Oop, you can see my snips outline. I'll come back to that. Okay, maybe snips is not such a good idea. You keep seeing the outline. Okay, all different little bits of color. Done with that. I think we're done with the blending brush. So let me gather these up. Okay, so I'm so happy that's going to be covered up. Yeah, that's just fine. So let's take one of these and start building the background. So if you're like I am, well, let me put it this way. You could put these pieces on and just put them however they go and not worry about them being perfectly symmetrical. Or you can be a little OCD and want them to be, I want it to be perfect. Not that it's going to be perfect, but it'll be much closer to perfect if you do this extra step. So I'm marking it at every inch, just a little mark. Then same thing over here. So this paper is cut to 5 1/4, so I'm marking it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm just going to draw a light line that I plan on erasing. And not that the pieces are going to set right here on this line at all, but at least it will give me a little guidance to having the top flat part of the hexagon parallel with the top and the bottom of the paper. So in just a minute you'll say, yeah, I know why you do that. But some people, like when they color, they're like, ugh, it's okay if it's out of the lines. I could prove I handmade it, which is great. I wish I could do that, but I can't. Okay, so we're done with this. Done with the pencil. I'm going to be using the eraser. So to put these on, you could put them wherever you'd like. And you know what? I was trying to sponge one of the soft succulent pieces. And you do notice that. When I did it, I thought, oh, forget that. You can't even tell. But I could tell on these two that I did. This one and that one. Okay, maybe I'll do a little bit more. Maybe on 3 of them. Okay, back to the blending brush. Blending brush. Ooh, Ooh, that one's dark. Okay, some of them have a hint of color. So the best way to get started is, let's just put these where you think they should go. And how about right there? I like the balmy blue. I'll change up with this one. And after doing this the first time, I have a note to self, which is there's kind of, it looks more, well, I guess it's all equal. Maybe it's not. You know how I was saying that that one was not equally shaped? I think they're all like that, where it seems like there's a flat part and a pointy part. So pointy parts are going to go to the outside edge. Flat parts are going to go to the top and bottom. You're like, whatever that means. But when you go to put this one on, this next one on, oh, that's that dark one. Well, maybe that's good. Flat part to the top and bottom, all of a sudden it just becomes clear where the pieces should go. And I'll start getting them in line and in order here in just a minute. At this point, I'm just putting them anywhere. I don't know. So see, it's starting to come around. Ooh, this is a pretty one for stamping the words on. That one's kind of messy. I want to stamp the words on this one. Beloved. I should look up what the word exactly means. Beloved. I was just trying to find a tiny word. Okay, so that could go here, kind of out of the way of the bouquet. And then this all just gets filled in. See how just all of a sudden it starts coming around? Okay, and the pieces that are on the edge are going to be trimmed off. So when you go to put them on, I noticed that the line, the pencil line is under here, so I'm going to erase it before I stick it on, but just start at the bottom and work your way up. And that does take a minute. Eraser, I'm going to start with this one. And some of the lines, if they're not in the way like these, I'll erase that later. But I'm going to kind of keep them there, using them as a reference for a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this bottom is parallel with the bottom of the card, or coincidentally, these points are right at my line guide points. So then the next one, again right in the middle, that might be good for placement. I don't know. Just a little bit of glue. And after you place your second one, and see that little gap I have right in there, which is minuscule. It's like a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch. It's tiny. But you'll just try to keep copying that same gap. So this one is going to go right here. And after you do a few of them, copying the gap is kind of easy. And that one's ready. I'm going to put glue just on this inside bit. And I'm copying the gap, but then also I can put the point right in the middle, like the alleyway. I could put it right in the middle of that, and it makes it easy for lining up. You might be saying, I think that I'm one that I'll just put them on there and cover it up with a pretty flower, which is fine. I'm going to do this one. If I did this, the one I use the blending brush on, I don't have much of a reference, but if I put this soft succulent one on, it could line up with the little alleyway. Have at least some reference. So I'm trying to keep this equal with that equal, and then the point in the center, and there it is. Kind of like doing a puzzle. Do you like doing puzzles? I do. So I guess maybe it's just this one row that needs the eraser. But the lines are very convenient, the 1-inch lines, because these little points perfectly line up with those lines. Okay, don't need these anymore. Okay, so in the comments, let me know, are you going to do the grid lines? Or are you freeform and you're like, ah, I don't need those? There's nothing like a good eraser. I don't even know where I got that one. Oh, now I do. I see the little logo on it. That's our bank, Umpqua Bank. What are they doing with erasers? I love that eraser. There's nothing like a good eraser. I have a few I got from Hobby Lobby, and they have cute little sayings on them. Those ones work good too. Maybe it's easy to get a good eraser. Trust your heart. Kind of heavy. Trust your heart. Keep it simple. I think we all need that. But these work good too. Maybe good erasers are easy to come by. They probably wouldn't leave all this residue too. Okay, so this one is going to go right here. Partial. Maybe I should have had this done before. I have no stories today. I'm eating Connie for lunch. That's fun. I like Connie. Pretty, pretty. Okay, so is this background worth it? What do you think? Kind of liking it. So much. I might do just one branch. Let's see how it looks. Some of my little gutters got a little small there. And you could fill in the whole paper if you want. Then I was thinking of maybe putting some on the inside. How about this one? Go down here. Okay, finally, huh? Done. So, I'm going to get rid of all the lines. Anything still showing? That's it. All that work. But isn't that how we do all of our cards? Put a lot into it? But wait, we have to trim it. And I might be able to use some of these little pieces. Turn it over and let's see how big these pieces are after they're trimmed off. Okay, so this would go on a pointy side, and I think it's going to be too small, which is too bad. Do I have any flat? I could put that there. Pointy side. The pointy side, I'm thinking none of them. And this one, I don't know. Okay, no pieces, just trim off. Okay, so coffee. It's getting cold. Dimensionals. I'm going to dimensional the front. Doesn't that look good just right there? So this I colored in Freesia Freesia and Granny Apple. I'm thinking just like that. I'm going to try to do it just one, because I think this one became a little bit busy. Okay, I think this might work. I'm going to go with it, but I could always pull it up. So I'm going to start out with just one dimensional in the middle, so I could build beautifulness around it. Or maybe I just like the purple. I do like this one though. Okay, and these little bits will go down first, the vellum. Just anywhere. I'm trying to make the flower bouquet stand out a little bit more, where if there's the soft white back behind it, I'd like to think it stands out more. This one I didn't punch out. I think this is the one that I lost the top, pulling it out of the die. But that's okay. Where's the top to that flower? It's kind of pretty going there into the soft succulent. Vellum, I love it. Kind of softens up anything. Okay, now for the gold. So this is the one that was cut backwards. How about underneath, but right there? Or maybe it could go underneath and just that tip showing. Okay, that's a plan. Don't want to see the bottom of it. So what do you think with one bunch of flowers? Oh, so I was coloring in the bee, and I have a good bad example because it came out crazy, not good, distracting. Okay, so all the little underneath pieces are on. One bunch of flowers. And I need to stick this down a little bit better because there's only one dimensional holding it on. At least 3. How about a couple of minis? That'll hold it down. So the B. Oh, maybe this could go on the inside. Or I could stamp it. So the B, let me show you the B. See, the B is just kind of just in there, which is fine. So I colored it with Daffodil Dark, Petal Pink Light, and the wings are in Pool Party Light. Pool Party Light. For the wings. Oh, and I'll show you my crazy one here in just a minute. It's too vibrant or something. Just a little dot in the middle. And I'll take pictures of all this and put it on my blog. My blog is JilliBling.com. Just a hint of petal on the petals. And Smoky Slate Dark, just to fill in the bee body. Just because I want it to look a little bit more black. But if I did it all black, it would look like a blob of black. Okay, so this bee or, and keep in mind, it was supposed to be going with this one, or this bee. You're like, well, there's a big difference. I see that glare. I don't want you to have that glare. So, that one was done in Mambo, and the body was done in Daffodil, and the wings were done in Pool Party. Crazy. This one's a little bit calmer. That one, when you put it on the card, it's distracting. If I were to put this on here, it's like, oh yeah, that's like when you see some of the girls that are, they're highly decorated. Like, they've got jewels everywhere, their hair is everywhere. How about up here? Two mini dimensionals. He's coming in to visit the flowers. Oh, and then a bow, a double bow. I love this crinkle white. I think I use it on just about everything. I have a lot of it too. This is the time to get lots of stuff because it's celebration. So if you're like, yeah, I need to refresh my paper, I need some of this, some of that, get it before the end of February. So you can earn celebration free items on it. Like get a whole bunch of pearls and a whole bunch of glue dots and dimensionals. Because you get free stuff. Everyone likes free. I hear Bo, he's over on the couch, underneath his blanket, having a dog mare. He's going, I always wonder about his nightmares. It's like, do all dogs have that many nightmares? Because he's always, like at least daily. He's had a cush life. There's no reason he should be having nightmares. Probably has nightmares about the UPS drivers. Okay, a little bow, higher than I normally would put it. Isn't that sweet? coffee's kicking in. I got the little bit of the shakes. Well, what was that? That's 3 sips. Okay, they're big sips though. 5 iridescent pearls. I love these things. Okay, the front is done. I kind of do like the one bunch better. Or maybe it's the purple. I don't know. I like it though. Okay, so the inside is stamp, no words, little vintaging. I can do it. Or I could put this on here and that on there. No. Okay, let's get to it. Stamp. Stamp B. And vintaging in soft succulent. And you're like, where'd you get that vintagey thing? Oot oot. Came from here. And I might add some of those on. There it is. And I'm going to stamp off. And hopefully I remember to stamp off every time. Stamp off. Stamp on. Stamp off. So this one, the trick is trying to keep it level, straight. Everywhere, especially when it's light. But there is also those little freckles. Should I try them full strength? No, that's too dark. Everywhere. Okay. Leave it be. Now, a little bit of coloring. So, to color this one, I'm gonna do Fresh Freesia Dark in the center of the flowers. And at the bottom of these buds, outside, Mother Nature knows it's spring. Outside, because keep in mind, when COVID came around, we were stuck at home. I got a cute, I have today got a story. You might have heard it already. When COVID came around, we were all stuck at home. Tony could work at the school because he worked, well, he could partially work. His job was part-time bus driver and part-time groundskeeper. And that all came about. They made him the job. Because keep in mind, he's retired from the state of California, so he just can't sit still. Anyhow, so he could still do the groundskeeping because no one was around. Hey, riding on a lawnmower or working on like those manly build-it projects, you're pretty much all by yourself. And even if someone came and they were helping him out, they could wear masks, but not saying that he didn't, but he didn't. And there was no bus driving because everything was online or on pause. Anyhow, so on the weekends, he would come home and I couldn't be doing any class. And we ended up every Saturday, doing kind of like a date Saturday, and it was just so good to get out. And okay, I had to back up just a little bit. We pulled out, like a year before, we pulled out the concrete in front of the driveway, replaced the garage door, pulled out the concrete from the garage to the house. Oh, Bo is having some dreams over there. And so it's all new. So with that, we, if this is where the sidewalk goes and this is where the house is, we left an area for planting. And all along, it's just been like 2 rose bushes, but we were planting it up. Then he started doing rock walls out in the yard and getting all this rock brought in, which I think is a guy thing, to have a big truck come in and deliver all this. It's kind of nice, this charcoal gray black rock. And so we made some like little retaining walls with planter areas back. Anyhow, long story short, we had all this area to plant, and I don't know anything about it. Asking girlfriends, okay, what should I put in? And some people have beautiful yards and got great ideas from them. But every weekend we would watch Good Morning America, drink our coffee, and then go into town and go to a nursery and pick up some plants. We spent way too much money. Those are expensive. Plants are expensive. And a few trees, and planted them. And then once friends heard about, oh, you're doing all your planting, and I'd take pictures. I mean, it was fun. So then when people would thin out their bulbs, they would come here, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. So I put all these bulbs like 6 inches apart in the big planter. The stuff around the house is, that's a little bit more controlled and planned, and let's get this plant and look it up. What does it look like when it's big? How big does it get? Anyhow, the bulbs out there, last year they did okay. This year, oh my gosh, you can see that they're all 12 inches apart in a grid pattern. I did that, which I'm happy, proud of, but oh my gosh, there's a lot going on out there. Spring is coming. And I think Jackie gave me some daffodils, and I didn't have those so far. I think there's daffodils coming up there now too. Well, we're February. That seems early. I don't know. How does Mother Nature know? To me, it seems really cold out there. Okay, so I did have a story today. But those, oh, and okay, so we would, Saturdays, we would go to the nurseries or home improvement stores and get stuff, put it in the back of the truck, and then we would go to some restaurant because everyone was trying, just take the food or we'll bring it out to you, pay it online, pay by credit card, and we would eat lunch in the truck, and then we would come home and we would plant the new stuff. I mean, every weekend was like that. It's good memories, good fun. Well, I colored that. I get carried away with my stories. Huh? Glue. So do you ever notice if you use liquid glue compared to using Stampin' Seal or whatever your tape runner is? That has Stampin' Seal. Oh, the TV just came on. I think I've been taking too long. Well, when you do it with glue, the card seems a little stiffer, which sometimes I like that. I've been using liquid glue more and more these days. Okay, there it is. No words on the inside, because I don't know what goes with beloved. It's not beloved, it's beloved. Okay. I guess the coffee kicked in. I'm talking too much. Okay. This is today's project. I have 3 more to go, and I've kind of got them setting out over there. Oh, did I show you? Okay. This is the first one. So imagine a beautiful bow right here. Oh, look at that. Hoo-wee. Just a little reminder that you are loved. Isn't that nice? I love this one. Okay, that was project number 1. Project number 2 is what we did today. Now look at this. Look at these words. You are wonderful in every way. Black embossing powder. You're like, okay. The Queen Heart. Gold. Look at that. You see the gold and the gold layer? Yeah. And this is going to be another gift card. It's going to be a gift card holder. I'm thinking the coffee kicked in. I'm kind of embarrassed. And then the next one, look at this. Look at these colors. Have you ever seen me do mango? Are you feeling it? This one's going to be kind of vintagey. And I'm not quite sure yet what. I don't have any of the stamps pulled out. I think the big B is going to go right here. Look at these wings. I can add on extra wings. Oh, we've got such a good hobby. Okay, really? That's it today. Here's the project. One last time, thank you for watching. I have more coming. More to be excited about. Have a great day. Bye.